Welcome to Is This Good, the show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. I'm Matt Austin, and with me as always is production powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. And he's a former NCAA baller. He created and starred in Comedy Central's animated Legends of Chamberlain Heights. He wrote on Netflix's Colin in Black and White. He hosts No Chill with Gilbert Arenas and the Out of Pocket podcast. And if you think that keeps him busy enough, you'd be wrong, because he spends every night doing what you probably know him best for, clowning the NBA with a stockpile of intercontinental ballistic memes, and earning the title of GOAT from no less than LeBron James. He's the king of NBA Twitter. It's Josiah Johnson. Josiah, welcome to Is This Good?
I'll tell you what was good. That intro was pretty phenomenal. Thank you so much. Butter me up. Get me ready to go. Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. So one thing that I was definitely wrong about, I kind of assumed that you got your start on NBA Twitter, got a big following and then got props from like LeBron James, from Jordan Peele, and then that's how you got noticed in the entertainment world, and that's how you got into writing for TV. But when I did a little research, turns out that was completely wrong, and you created and starred in Legends of Chamberlain Heights for Comedy Central before you ever really on Twitter, and it was through doing the social media for that show that you started popping off on Twitter. So what was the genesis of that show? How did that get started?
Well, that's a mistake that a lot of people make, and it's funny, man. People will be like, oh, man, you weren't shit till LeBron put you on. It's like, no, I was doing a lot of shit before that happened, but it is what it is. So, look, I've been working in the entertainment game. I played ball at UCLA, wasn't that good, had to figure my life out. Graduated 2005, started working for a bunch of sports networks like Fox Sports, NFL Network, all these other companies. And while I was working there, I kind of had this itch to want to try and get into the blog space. I'd seen a lot of great sites like Deadspin was really moving and shaking back in those days, but there was not really anything for the urban black demographic. So started a website called Jersey Chaser. We were kind of like the off-kilter sports website. We started doing a bunch of YouTube-themed content. This was like 2008, 2009-ish, right around the time that the Kobe and LeBron Nike puppet parody had really taken off. So we did a out-of-pocket remix of that one. Ended up getting the attention of a couple guys that worked on the animation side. They were trying to do a show for LeBron James. We kind of politely declined, just knowing that LeBron's my favorite player, but he's super, super specific about his brand, and our type of humor probably wouldn't align with a show about LeBron. So then we ended up pitching a show about my experience riding the bench at UCLA with a couple of my teammates. That was the genesis for Legends of Chamberlain Heights. Worked on that thing for a long time. We're able to get 2 seasons out of Comedy Central. And like you mentioned, while we were doing that show, I didn't give a fuck about social media at that point. I honestly hated it. I just thought it was a waste of time. I didn't want to spend a bunch of time on it and take away from my life. But started doing the social for the show, fell in love with it. Whole time I was doing it, my wife was in my ear just like, yo, like you're doing all this stuff for them. If the show ever goes away, you're not going to have anything to show for it. So didn't really listen to her then. We kind of just kept my head to the ground. Kept, putting out all this content for the show, did a bunch of, great stuff for the show. Show eventually gets canceled, so I'm like, well, shit, I don't have, anything to show for it, like she said, so let me go ahead and take all this stuff I learned on the social side, doing stuff, working with Comedy Central, do it for myself, a lot less rules, lots less constraints, so now, here I am today. So definitely super thankful for just social media and Twitter in general, and for all the kids out there, man, you can definitely make a great living doing social media. Don't let your parents or friends lie to you. In the same way, kids were playing video games back in the day when I was growing up. We just played it for the fun of it. Now it's a humongous business, and you got, FaZe Clan and all these amazing, Nuke Squad and all these amazing people out there that are really out here doing it. So definitely can make money in this industry, so treat it like a business.
That's right. I spend all day gaming and on Twitter. So shut up, Mom, okay? I'm doing my work. Is there something specific that you think about being on a team your whole life, playing basketball, and maybe even more specific to being on the bench that sort of honed your comedy chops?
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you're in a team setting, and I think for all of us, no matter what level you played at, junior high, high school, college, in the pros, whatever, you're in a locker room with 12 to 15 guys. You see each other all the time. You develop a familial relationship like your brothers, but brothers go at each other, and eventually you get tired of looking at each other, so you're going to let the jokes fly and, pick on certain guys for certain things, and you really got to be able to hold your own in a locker room setting. So I think that definitely prepared me. It's funny, I've worked at a lot of different companies, and generally the people with a sports background just understand the framework of the team. Like Bill Belichick says, do your job. So they understand how to do all those things, and they understand what their specific contribution or job is to make the team great. So all that stuff really helped prepare me for this next level. And then, like you said, being on the bench, you have a courtside view of every single thing that's going on. So you know stuff a lot better. A lot of time those guys are playing, they're locked in, they don't really know what's going on. I'm watching everything, so you can see every single thing. We're watching the game, we're looking in the crowd. We might, be trying to wink at the cheerleaders here and there back in the days, but you have a viewpoint of everything going on, so you have a lot stronger memory of all those moments. So it's funny, I interview a lot of guys that are in the NBA now, and I always gravitate towards the guys who maybe didn't play as much because they were there for all the meetings, there for all the practices, but they saw everything. They saw it all happen, and they have a much better memory and understanding of what really went down than maybe some of the guys who played a lot.
So I was reading some profiles of you, and you've been profiled everywhere, like the New York Times, the LA Times, the New York Post. Not as good as those first two. But here's a quote that caught my eye. You said, "It's a great, refreshing feeling to know that something that was in your brain just takes off and skyrockets." You're talking about tweeting here. "But it's also a drug where, if you do it enough, it becomes less and less powerful. And now I'm constantly chasing that fix again. I want to get that next thing." So, do you think this could be your next thing? Is this going to give you judging things, telling me if they're good? Is that going to give you that hit of dopamine that Twitter no longer gives you?
We will find out. You have some great topics lined up. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, like I told you guys before we came on, I'm a big fan of the starters and obviously No Dunks now. And everything they've really, when I was on the show with those guys, had to let them know that they really help. There's a lot of people who help lay the foundation for people like ourselves to be in this space, in this world, and really take that leap to doing it. When we were coming up, you had to go to Syracuse or Northwestern or SC, and you had to do all this other shit and, make my demo reel and my promo tape and send it over. Now you can just fire up the computer, and if you have good takes, if you're talented, you can really shine through and people will come and find you. So I'm just thankful and blessed to be in the position that I'm in. We're going to see, how this show goes, how my answers go, but yeah, anytime I get to do stuff like this, man, I really enjoy it. I just appreciate people actually wanting to talk to me. So, when these emails come down like, yo, will you appear on this show or that show? I'm always just like, hell yeah, like shit. I'm just thankful somebody wants me.
All right, well, I thought we were special, but quick bit of housekeeping before we start. If you have topics for a future show, email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at isthisgoodpod. Subscribe on YouTube and review us on your podcasting apps. That helps a lot. And remember to tell a friend or family member about the show. Why? Because you are a tastemaker. Okay, Josiah, the premise of the show is very simple. I'm going to give you a topic. You tell me if it's good. You ready to go?
Let's get it.
All right, so this one starts with an email. Leon L. writes, "When my wife and I go out to restaurants, we don't always like to order one main each. A lot of the time we prefer to share a bunch of apps and sides to share. And in some cases, we like to order items from the kids' menu. Why? The portions are smaller and are obviously cheaper than a main. We will often get a lot of pushback on ordering a child's meal without a child present. But it's on the menu. Shouldn't we be able to order that item judgment-free?" So Josiah asks you, adults ordering food from the kids' menu, is this good? Do you agree with Leon that because it's on the menu, you should be able to order it?
Well, I definitely agree with Leon. This is something I'm a big believer in, a firm believer, and I do it all the time. Like you mentioned, like when you're ordering at a restaurant, sometimes I don't want that full main appetizer, right? Especially if I'm eating with a smaller crew of people. And sometimes that kids meal will put you over the top because it's just the ample amount of fries or chicken tenders. It's not the full 4 to 6 chicken tenders you might get in the appetizer. It's more 2 to 3. It comes with the nice milk. I feel like the kids' meals always have it figured out. They always have the great accessories with it, the sliced apples and all that other stuff that you might be in the mood for. And if you're a kid at heart, I think it makes sense to go ahead and do it. Yes, the primary meal, though, no, I'm not really ever ordering kids' meals at a spot. I'll just, suck it up and pay a little bit extra to get the adult version. But I think in certain instances, like, yeah, if you're with a small crew of people and everybody may not want the chicken tenders or the fish sticks or whatever it may be, go ahead and get that thing going.
Okay, so have you ever gotten pushback from a server about ordering the kids menu?
I tip really well, so generally, I build strong relationships with my servers, and I'm doing this a lot on Uber and Postmates so they can't see who is really going for. But okay. I'll definitely, overboard on going the kid side when I need just enough to get me over the top. I'm a bigger dude, so the main course may not be enough, so I'll order the kids version of that as well, dump it in, and now we've got some extra fries, some extra chicken tenders. And sometimes, especially for those of us who order on Uber or Postmates, they don't have like the sauce or sides thing. So you literally are just get relegated to one sauce. Like I do this at Wendy's a lot, and literally you can only get like one barbecue sauce. Well, I need a ranch or barbecue. I need to really survey the whole amount of sauces. You know, you can do that when you're there, ordering through the drive-thru or ordering in the restaurant. But when you're using one of these delivery apps, sometimes they're super specific about it. And I always try to time it so once I find out who the driver is, I'll send them a little message like, yo, can you tell them to give you some extra ranch or barbecue sauces? But sometimes that's just not possible. You know, we're all busy. We live a crazy, hectic life, and nothing makes me madder than when I send that message and like, all right, man, I already left the spot, so can't do it. But, you know. So
and then you make your kids go answer the door so it's not suspicious.
Yeah, for sure.
JD, where are you at this one? Because I know you've worked in restaurants. I'm pretty sure you've worked at a restaurant that has a kids menu.
Oh, yeah. All of them.
So what about the people that say the kids menu items are actually there as a loss leader, meaning they're just there to get the family in the door? The restaurant's not making money from this, so that's why you shouldn't order a kids meal if you're an adult.
Right. I mean, that's 100%. Well, maybe not 100%, but that's usually the case. It costs the restaurant money to have a kids menu in some cases. As a server, it would drive me crazy if a grown man, if Josiah Johnson came into my restaurant and sat in he played basketball. He's a big dude, and he orders a kid's chicken tenders. I'd be like livid, but I would do it. But as a server, I want to inflate the bill because the higher the bill is, the higher the tip is, right? It's a percentage of the bill. Mm-hmm. Josiah, you have the loophole I was going to say is if you're ordering delivery, I mean, they don't know, so it doesn't matter. And if you're, they can't tell, but I don't know. If there's a grown person sitting at my bar and unless they're ordering like, copious amounts of beer or something, it would drive me crazy. But now that I'm out of the business, I'm less passionate about it. But, you're a grown-ass man. Order the chicken tenders and then get a box and take the rest of it home with you.
If you don't want him ordering off the kids menu, JD, then put the silver dollar potatoes with the little smiley face on them on the regular menu.
I mean, that's a great point. Certain restaurants I worked at, like the chicken tenders that they would give on the kids menu, they were just way shittier than the actual chicken tenders, right? Mm-hmm. Like just like frozen, like McCain's or whatever chicken tenders. But some people prefer that to like the chicken breast, the actual chicken breast, hand-breaded chicken tenders. So for those people, they should just put a version of that on the adult menu. You know what I mean? Like the adult kids menu. If you like shitty tenders, order these.
Love me shitty tender. Josiah, let's do a quick role play. So let's say JD's a server at the IHOP. You want the pancake that's shaped like a Grinch that's on the kids menu. He tells you, no dice. What do you say to him?
JD, I will make it worth your while and very lucrative to you if you make those kids silver dollar pancakes show up on this plate. I think at the end of the day, I understand, but that's like saying the same caveat with like happy hours, right? Happy hours restaurants are taking a loss to get you in to hopefully, we're going to give you some discount on these apps so you order a bunch of liquor and get sauced up and spend money on that side. But again, I wouldn't do it. I don't encourage it as the primary meal. If I wanted to get, I'm going to get the regular chicken tenders, but look, I want 2 more chicken tenders. I don't want a whole other regular chicken tender. Let me get the kids meal too. I'm not coming in just straight to kids meal. I think it's kind of embarrassing too. I think, once you're past, if you're not in your college years or, your post-grad years where you don't have a lot of money and you're trying to figure it out and stretch a dollar, that's one thing. Me, if you have a sufficient income, you have gainful employment, you have a check coming in every 2 weeks, yeah, go ahead and suck it up. Order the main thing. Get the to-go box. But also, if you're portion controlling, there's a lot that goes into it. So I never like to try to judge people. But I always try to be as respectful as possible for servers. So I'm throwing more like, look, I'm black, and you know the stigma of the black community. We don't tip well. I'm not gonna say that's completely true, but I definitely have some friends. If the shit says $9.99 on the menu, they're pulling out a crisp $10 bill. They're not accounting taxes. They're not accounting tip. And this shit used to happen to me all the time in college. It used to drive me fucking nuts. Like we would go to BJ's or somewhere. It's like, well, shit, mine was $9.99. It's like, bro, there's like 9% tax on that shit. Like just throw 15, throw 16 in there, cover the difference. If you couldn't afford it, don't order it.
All right. Well, I do like that because that's next level. Because a lot of people are ordering from the kids menu because they want to eat less. You're ordering from the kids menu because you want to like supersize your regular.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
I think
I'm
we
totally
can all,
in favor of
I think
that.
we can all respect that.
Yeah.
So Josiah, before the show, we poll people on Twitter. Sorry to step on your turf and get on Twitter and put up a poll.
Twitter's for everybody.
I truly do apologize. So 50.2. I mean, that's about
I
as
knew this would be
close as
close.
you can get. This is one of the closest polls we've ever had. 50.2% of people say adults ordering food from the kids menu is not good.
Oh, interesting.
But that's pretty close.
It's
That's recount
Half an
level. We can get
Yeah.
that. We got to wait for the mail-in ballots to come in from overseas. We can
That's right,
definitely.
that's right.
We need to go ahead. Whatever Herschel Walker and Warnock had after that was like
Automatic
yeah.
recount. Automatic.
Yeah,
recount.
automatic. Let's do it again. I think more people will turn out in support of it. If they hear my pitch for it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, let's get to the next topic. Courier P and Sam J ask, refusing to switch airplane seats when a couple or family asks you to. Is this good? These stories, they go viral pretty frequently nowadays, I would say. It's usually with a headline like, this woman refused to switch seats when a couple asked her to, and TikTok is divided. So, Josiah, what do you think about this? I mean, have you ever been in this situation before where someone's asked you to switch seats?
Yeah, recently, and let me preface it, and I'm not trying to flex or ball, but I am 6'7", like 300 pounds, so generally I have to fly first class just for the leg room. You fly enough planes, for me, like whether it's planes, rental cars, all that type of stuff, I try to learn the inside hustles of it. So if you're flying first class, you never really want that 1A seat because it has the straight,
the bulkhead.
flat, the bulkhead panel, unless there's a ton of space in there, which generally there's not. So I was flying somewhere, and it was only like a 2-hour flight, but it was like 7 a.m. I was tired as shit, had been up all night, and like an old couple asked me to switch, and I'm like, all right, fuck, I'll do it for the old couple. But I end up moving into the 1A seat, which I dread, to help them out, and I literally got to sit with my legs folded against the thing, and it completely defeated the purpose of having that first class ticket. So, just depending, but I feel like a lot of people do that fairly deliberately, like they're using points or whatever it may be. They book their tickets late, and by the time they book their tickets, those 2 seats aren't available. So really, they're trying to fuck us over for their own, they were too
100%.
slow to do it. And so there's a lot of different criteria that goes into it, but I feel like at that point, like when you guys bought the tickets, you knew there was a good, reasonable chance that you weren't going to be able to sit together. Now, look, if it's a 1-for-1 trade and it's like, yo, I'm taking, this aisle seat for this aisle seat, and it's a fair exchange, I do have my certain, preferences and criteria that I fly. I always got to go right side window because I like laying on this arm as opposed to this arm. That's just me personally. But if I got to switch up and it's still the same seat, but yeah, if couples ask you to switch into a shitty seat or, hey, take this middle seat in exchange for, you had a window or aisle, no, I think that's just disrespectful on their part. Get the tickets earlier. And look, you guys are together all the time anyway. You can manage 3-4 hours on a flight, not sitting next to each other.
So you want to go position for position. Like let's say you're row 2 in the aisle. You'll swap for row 3 in the aisle, right? I mean, that's not a big deal.
Fine.
What if is there the possibility of offering a sweetener if it's not a straight 1-for-1 trade? Like you want the aisle, someone says, window 2 rows back and $20.
That's that's definitely stuff that we could get into and talk about. Like if they have some snacks or some treats or, hey, we got some gummy bears and I'll give you 10 gummy bears too in addition to it or something like that. But like I said, it's got to be, in couples out there, if you're listening to this, it's got to be a 1-for-1 trade. It's like, think about it in NBA terms. You're not going to trade like some superstar elite talent for a second-round pick. So when you're coming to people like that, yeah, we get you love each other and you're a couple, but you also booked the tickets later when those seats weren't available. So get there early, figure it out. Obviously, sometimes there's family emergencies and things like that. And I would feel that out, too, if it looks like they're obviously going through an emergency or something like that. Or do they really look like they love each other? Like sometimes, the wife may be asking you to swap this so she can sit next to the husband. I'll try to make eye contact with the husband.
He's like,
yo, do you really want this? Like, just kind of share that glance or vice versa. And like I said, if you guys are together in a relationship, you see each other every day anyway, you can stand to go a couple hours, being apart from each other on the plane.
So JD, you're about to get on a flight this Friday.
Yeah.
What will happen if someone asks you to change seats? Or you're traveling with your family. I don't know if you're sitting together. Will you ask someone to swap seats with you?
Yeah, we're 100% sitting together because I booked months ago and I paid extra to pick my tickets, but my seats. So
a true hero.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. Here's the thing: if somebody asks me to switch and I'm traveling by myself, I'm 100% of the time going to do it, because if I don't, I'm gonna feel like they're like lasers in the back of my head. You know, like
Right.
they're gonna be resenting me the entire flight, and I'm gonna feel self-conscious about it. But the flip side is that I will resent them for the rest of the flight. But that's just the cross that I have to bear, because I can't stand the confrontation of it. But Josiah, you're 100% right. Most of the time, they booked late. They're paying cheaper. They're gambling, frankly, that, oh, we'll just get somebody to switch. Some sucker will want to sit in the middle, in the back, because out of the kindness of their hearts, which is what I would do. But I would be furious about it. It's not good. 100% of the time, they have the audacity to be like, this asshole wouldn't switch
Right.
his seat.
Yeah, you become
right?
the asshole.
I'm the asshole, but fuck you. You're the asshole. And the older they are, the less likely that I would want to switch with them, because you are, Josiah, 100% right. They've been together forever. You can manage another 3-4 hours apart.
I need my hand held in case there's turbulence. I would say one thing you should absolutely do not do, because I think there are situations in which this is good, this is fine if you're swapping aisle for aisle, window for window, and it's not a big deal. Same section of the plane, of course. But do not do this. Do not get on the plane and sit in the seat you want, wait for the person to get on the plane and go, oh, I think you're sitting in my seat, and then go, oh, yeah, I was wondering if we could switch. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bitch move.
Yeah.
That is disrespectful.
That is disrespectful. Okay, Josiah, 60% of people on Twitter said refusing to switch airplane seats when a couple or family asks is, what do you think, good or not good?
I think people on Twitter are going to lie and say not good just because they want to pretend to be cool, but they would fucking not want to do that shit if they were in this position.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. So 60% said refusing is good. So
Okay.
you're, yeah.
All
So
right,
they're
okay.
like, yeah.
Well, people are honest. Wow, Twitter. Normally Twitter people give this persona like, oh, I'm this great, like, kind-hearted person. Like, no, you're an asshole. I'm an asshole. It is what it is. Let's not lie about it.
No, we don't virtue signal here on Is This Good, Josiah? Next topic. Seraphin G asks, Jumbotron or in-arena proposals? Are they good? Josiah, as an NBA fan, I'm sure you've seen many of these in your lifetime. What do you think? Are they good?
So, look, I'm a big Dodgers fan. Anytime you go to the Dodgers game, and like I said, I'm a connoisseur of fine food. The Dodgers have they used to have the all-you-can-eat pavilion. I don't know if they still have it because of the Rona situation. But you could literally, massacre like 20 Dodger dogs, nachos, as much as you want. And there's a guarantee that at least, 80% of home Dodgers games, there is a proposal in that section. I find that to be very sweet, beautiful, that these two people love the Dodgers so much that they would, want to consummate their relationship and propose. But generally, I'm against it just from the standpoint of doing that at a game. Yeah, if she says yes or he says yes, you get the ovation, all that stuff. And a lot of these are fake, but we have seen the points in time where the proposal is rejected, and you end up looking like an asshole to a bunch of people who don't know you at this amazing game. Now the guys playing in this game have gotten their attention distracted, looking at you make a fool of yourself. So I would say, do it somewhere a little bit more classier. Really depends on the game. Like if it's a Lakers or a Dodgers game, that's extremely romantic. I'll say that. But if you're like at an Angels game, I'd just, hold off on it.
Okay. Well, here's a story. So I posted the poll about Jumbotron proposals on Twitter, and a guy I know from the internet, as one does, Joey, he actually hosts Roundball Rock, which is a great comedy NBA podcast. He DMs me to say, hey, my buddy Sean that I do the show with, he's got a good proposal story. So Sean sent it to me. I'm going to read it here because it's pretty good. So this is what Sean said. So the Oakland A's have a $2 Wednesday promotion where you can sit in the bleachers for $2, and a guy in the section has planned a proposal between innings. So he's there, and there's an intern with a wireless mic and a sign. The guy takes the mic and does a baseball-themed proposal. He starts, Jess, we've been through a lot of long innings together. She starts covering her face. Then he gets on one knee and says, I'll be your pitcher. Will you be my catcher? She's really embarrassed and doesn't answer, and after it's silent for a few seconds, he whispers to her, but fully into the mic, "You have to say yes. You have to say yes." Then the intern holds up the sign which says, "Marry me," in all caps. She starts nodding her head like a hostage. It's really awkward, and after a few long beats, the intern grabs the mic and yells, "She said yes!" Nobody cheered. So, thanks, Sean, for sending that in. But that is the danger, that she says no. And I think, on the other hand, what I don't really like about it is it seems a bit coercive. Like, it seems like you're putting pressure on the person to say yes because they don't want to embarrass themselves or you in front of 20 to 40,000 people, or 12,000 at the Oakland A's game. So let me back this up a bit, Josiah. Should people propose in public at all? Like, you're married. Did you propose in public?
No, we like to keep it. We like to do what we like to do. But I think, look, Disneyland proposals. I know we saw that video recently of the employee kind of snatching the ring and not letting him do it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is romantic. But to your point, you're doing it in a situation. You're basically trying to coerce and force the other person to say yes and not make you look like a fool. And if you have to do that in public like that to get that yes that you're looking for, maybe, down the road it's definitely going to lead to some issues. So think about it. Think about the long term. Is this really forever? Or did I have to do this in front of you, like you said, 12,000 A's fans to force you to say yes to not make me look stupid?
JD, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I'm against it because I am against normalizing the spectacle of the proposal. Like, I don't like it. I don't like seeing them unless it's a no, really, because I find that amusing, even if it is fake. But also, it just puts pressure on people, A proposal does not have to be a grand gesture. It's between the two people. And I just feel like, I think people do it because, I think guys do it because they feel like they need to do something huge. Like, I can't afford to, ride in on a white horse or whatever. So I'll just do it at the A's game. I'm also a little bit jealous of people who are just so into a team or anything really that it would mean that much to be like at the Oakland A's game I wish I loved something that much. You know what I mean?
But that's the problem, I think. Like I said, sure, these two people that both love the Dodgers, it's nice that they can consummate their love in the stadium.
Yeah.
But how many times is it both people genuinely love the Dodgers and it means something to both of them? And how many times is it a guy just being like, "Oh, hey, babe, I got seats for the Dodger game." And she's like, "Oh, okay, that's maybe a fun Sunday afternoon," but she doesn't really have a relationship with the team. But like you were talking about a spectacle, I think this is the problem, because obviously in the internet age, people are looking for something that is visual, is big, will make an impact online. I mean, that's why we have all these goddamn horseshit gender reveals going viral.
Nobody cares about the sex of your child. I'm just going to be honest. But we get it. It's a boy or a girl, whatever. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, I wouldn't even ask, are gender reveals good on the show? Because I know we're all going to say not good, especially when they start like a California wildfire. I'm sure your child's going to be thrilled to know that that's how his gender was revealed. Definite not good on this one. And this was a landslide.
Yeah.
A landslide on Twitter. We haven't seen these kind of numbers of hate since we asked about bathroom attendants on the last show. 89% of people say Jumbotron proposals are not good.
Yeah.
Josiah, where are you on the kiss cam, can I ask, while we're here?
I'm a man who likes public affection, but I don't think it needs to be on the cam for all to see. I think there's kids at the game. What are we really promoting here? And again, it's another one of those situations where you're basically trying to coerce or force a kiss.
Yeah.
Now, when it's the fake one and all that type of stuff goes on, I'm a big fan of the fake ones. Obviously, I know we all work in the entertainment industry. We can generally spot those rather easily, like, oh, this is bullshit. But I enjoy seeing kind of human beings that don't work in the entertainment industry who see that kind of stuff go and really believe it. Like people that watch reality TV and are like, man, they really just had this camera in right at the exact moment for this thing to happen. It's like literally they had a crow in there standing behind them, like, and we're directing them what to do. But nonetheless, like I'm not the biggest kiss cam fan. I am a fan of the Pistons. They do that like bling bling cam or whatever. I don't know if they still do it, But I thought that shit was the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen. Where it's like, flash your jewelry so you can get robbed after the game. Like, show us how big of a baller you are. And it's like, bro, there's like 18,000 other people in this arena right now that are ready to rob you soon as this game ends.
I think the only time I like the kiss cam, I think they do this, I think it's the Hawks that do this, is the PA announcer will say the words kiss cam after every kiss.
Yeah.
Like, they'll put it on two people, they'll kiss, and they'll go, kiss cam! And then they'll put it to they kiss cam! But, yeah, I do live in fear of, like, going to a basketball game with my sister and being put on the kiss cam. That is a genuine anxiety.
What would you do? What would you do?
And that's why I don't talk to my sister. What I think you have to do the sort of the short arm point, like
right,
you're just like and then you go, I can't. But I would say the kiss cam's not good. I mean, until you start showing two men next to each other or two women next to each other, I don't think we can have the kiss cam anymore. It's just too heteronormative. God damn it! I said we didn't virtue signal on this show, but okay, I guess that's a sincere
Ding,
opinion.
ding, ding. No.
I'm sorry I disappointed you, Josiah. Next topic: competitive eating competitions. Are they good? Now, this one also has a slight NBA tie-in. I don't know if you saw, Josiah, last week halftime Lakers-Cavs. I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you if you saw. You probably tweeted it, memed it. They brought out Joey Chestnut, the competitive eater, for a pierogi eating competition. So it was him against three fans. Joey Jaws Chestnut ate 47 pierogies, and the three other fans combined ate 33. And then Joey Chestnut ate the three other fans. That was not filmed. And I'm just going to mention this because I don't know, this made me laugh. In the article I read, it said how important this pierogi eating competition was to Joey Chestnut because the weekend before he had lost his first shrimp cocktail eating competition in 8 years, and he really needed to get his mojo back. And I want to specify, this is not a shrimp eating contest. This is a shrimp cocktail eating contest. So they have like the red cocktail sauce all over their hands and face. He finished 4th place in the shrimp cocktail eating competition. He was, and this is how the article phrased it, he was only able to eat 10 pounds, 9 ounces of shrimp cocktail, while the winner ate 16 pounds, 6 ounces of shrimp cocktail.
Jesus
so he lost
Christ.
by 6 pounds of shrimp cocktail. I don't know, in the NBA, Josiah, what do you think? Losing by 6 pounds of shrimp is that like a 30-point loss, a 40-point loss?
That's like Suns Game 7. That's what.
Josiah, where are you on this one? Competitive eating, is it good?
Not a fan of competitive eating, I'll just say that. Especially, imagine being like super hungry and like one of the many people who don't have enough to eat, on a daily basis.
Hey, no virtue signaling. No virtue signaling.
But you got to look at a guy just pummeling hot dogs or pummeling shrimp cocktail, and it's like, bro, there's enough shrimp cocktail for everybody. Like that 10 pounds, you only needed like 1 pound. You could have gave 9 pounds to somebody, to 30 other people to enjoy those shrimps. But yeah, for me also just, I am fascinated though hearing these guys talk about it and how they have to like create room in their stomach and how they, the technique and all that other stuff that goes into it. But also when you watch like those hot dog eating competitions, like they dip them in water. They don't even eat the hot dog the way it's meant to be eaten. Yeah. It's like that dude who had like the hot dog straw in the beer or whatever. Like, I'd much rather watch somebody drink a bunch of beer through a hot dog straw than fucking be pounding water dipped in weenies. It's like I would never eat a hot dog like that.
What do you think you could eat the most of if you had to?
Ooh, probably spicy tuna rolls, but I know that I'd end up in like a tapeworm or something like that. But
yeah, it's true. You probably die of mercury poisoning if you pounded 10 pounds of tuna. JD, where are you on this one? I mean, gluttony is literally one of the 7 deadly sins.
It is, yeah. I want to swerve, but I can't. I don't like competitive eating. I did enjoy watching Kobayashi down a gallon of milk in whatever it was, 18 seconds. But we were in the room, and the most of my enjoyment came from Matt, your reaction.
That's where I proposed, Josiah, at the sporting event where Kobayashi was drinking 4 quarts of milk in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was amazing. But it grosses me out. I can't... Yeah, it's just gross. And Josiah, you bring up a great point. You would never eat a hot dog dipping it in water and shoving it down your throat like that. I mean, at that point, it's basically a cocksucking competition, right? I mean...
4 by minimum on the glizzy.
Well,
guzzling glizzies.
yeah, it is true, JD, because you're taking something that's good and pleasurable and enjoyable, like eating food, and these are always like, good foods, like a hot dog, a wing, a pierogi, sure.
Right.
But too much of any good thing is bad, whether it be cocksucking or I mean, hey, masturbating is fun, but a masturbation competition? Count me out. Have you ever used like a clip from an eating competition as like to meme something in the NBA? Like, let's say like Rudy Gobert gobbling up rebounds or something, and it's Joey Jaws just pumping hot dogs in his mouth?
Not that, but there is a few, you got like when your girl and her friends go to All-Star Weekend and you just get the hot dogs getting just launched at a woman's face or things like that. But try to keep it a little bit more classy now. I'm a family man. Kids are going to see these memes someday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kids are going to see these memes someday. When your kid goes to the Library of Congress in 10, 15 years and just sorts through the microfiche of your tweets, you don't want that one.
I don't want an extensive glizzy section. I want to keep that really.
You got to keep that tight. What about JD or Josiah? Have you ever done one of those like finish it and it's free promotions at a restaurant? Like, if you could finish the 5-pound whammy burger and this plate of fries and a root beer float, you get the amazing prize of getting it for free.
I always wanted to eat an old 96er, but
what's that?
John Candy movie. I forget what it was coming back in the day, but he had to like, what movie was that?
Planes, Trains?
I'm sad I don't remember, but he had to eat like a 96-ounce steak or something like that, and if he finished it in a certain amount of time, everybody got the meal free. Just don't see the value in doing that. I'm trying to think. I was somewhere and they had like this humongous hamburger that you could eat, and it was just like they had the wall of people who finished it. It's like that's not necessarily a wall that I want to be on. Like,
That's right.
I can go the rest of my life without being on that wall.
All right. Well, 56% of people say competitive eating competitions are not good.
Yeah.
But that was a close one.
Yeah. Surprisingly close for that one. Good.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel weird when people call it a sport as a former athlete, Josiah?
Look, there's a lot of different things that we call sports, so I feel like it's something that people put a lot of energy and time into. I just I'm curious to see the training process, and just the levels of vomit and puke would probably make me puke as well, and then we get that that Stand By Me scene or where lard ass
the Barfarama,
what I mean, and it's just like. Just that thought, like, of these dudes having to stuff their and how like disappointed they get when they regurgitate it, like. So
Joey Chestnut, I actually found an article about him that says he trains for the hot dog competitions by cooking hot dogs at his house and then eating him in a simulated competition style. He starts with 40 dogs, then works his way up until he is in game shape. He compared it to running or lifting weights for other athletes, and they have to chew so much that sometimes it says they exercise their jaws by chewing 20 pieces of gum at a time. So I mean, this is training. I don't think it's a sport. I don't know. I'm really torn on that one. But Josiah, we've got a couple more topics to get to. We'll explore them now in our gently paced speed round we call the Chaotic Good. All right, so the No Dunks crew actually were talking about this on their show, and Bryce C. emailed in to ask, washing new clothes before wearing them, is this good?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that I don't always do it. I have enough trust with the manufacturer that they've put some level of wash into it. But also now when you go to, and when you used to go to the mall back in the days, people do try on a lot of stuff. Definitely socks. You got to throw those in the wash. Just you never know. But yeah, generally I'll wear it one time just to get that real natural. I like the smell of new clothes. And then when you wash them, they shrink. So, when you tried it on and it fits your body proportion versus when you wash it and put it in the dryer and now it's shrunk and you can't really rock it like you want to. So I try to wear it as is at least once.
And you don't have the patience to air dry your t-shirts, I assume.
I mean, look, sweatshirts definitely, because those things will shrink up on me and I'll be extremely disappointed after one wear. But most t-shirts, no, it really just depends the value of the t-shirt to me, how much I spent on it.
I feel like there's like a crispy gang and a comfy gang, and the crispy gang's like, I just bought this, it's mint condition, I want to wear it and keep it as pristine as possible. But I'm part of the comfy gang. I want it to be soft right away, and and frankly, I'm a smaller guy. I need it to shrink a bit in the wash, so to fit properly. JD, where are you on this one? Are you washing? Or are you a lazy fuck?
I'm 100% washing. Well, not 100% because Josiah, you just said guaranteed you have to wash socks. I don't think I've ever washed socks before.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I have either. So I think
okay,
those
right.
they come stapled or whatever it is.
Yeah,
so you can't try
exactly.
those on. But if it was like, if I was wearing socks that somebody else tried on,
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But shoes you would wear, right? That possibly tried on. But yeah, I do not like the smell of new clothes unless it comes from a higher end place. And let's face it, I'm not shopping at J. Crew or anything like that.
That's your definition.
That's my
of
definition of high
You're talking
end.
to someone that's flying first class, JD. You gotta.
I know.
out of necessity. I'm a frugal human being. I'd pick the cheapest first class flight. But like nowadays with the planes, they made that shit so small. So sitting in economy now is like it's unbearable. My knees get fucking just destroyed.
Yeah,
so I don't do it to stun. I do it because I have to, and that's why I don't like to travel too much.
Hey man, you're successful. You don't need to apologize for that.
Don't apologize.
So JD, you're washing.
I'm washing. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta wash.
For me, it's a wash. If you start thinking about where that shirt has been from, like the factory to the warehouse to like a boat like with rats running around in it. I mean, I'm just assuming. I don't know what the people at Maersk are doing, but I'm assuming there's some rats going on in there. Other people have tried it on in the store. I think you got to wash it. Next topic. Don G asks, social media accounts for pets. Are they good? Okay, we're asking the Twitter master here. Do you have a pet?
I do not.
Okay.
I can barely wear my own ass. I don't want to have to deal with doing that for an animal. But I will say,
that you don't have to wipe their asses, but continue.
the dingleberries get in there sometimes.
That's true. You do have to express the anal glands sometimes.
You got it.
That's true.
But I would say, for me, the thing is, and we're guilty of it as well. But when you have parents that make accounts for their kids, but try to do it in the voice of the kid, or they try to do it in the voice of the dog. And they're like, yeah, my mommy got me these new delicious treats or whatever. It's like, we know your dog can't speak. We know this is you talking as your pet. Like, you're not fooling anybody. You have no idea what this animal is thinking. You literally have this animal held hostage. My joke is always like, look, if your pet loves you so much, leave the front door open and see if they come back. Like, that's how much, you're literally in prison. But you literally have them locked up in jail.
Yeah.
But again, to each their own. I do feel like if the account is run well and funny and people have fun with it, as opposed to like really trying to think about the dog and now I'm going to show my writing chops by trying to pretend like I'm this animal. What would this animal say? What energy and emotion do they have right now? Not feeling that. If you have fun with it and you just make cracking jokes and using it for that side, I definitely would support it.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you have an Instagram account called like Penny the Labradoodle, I think you can fuck off because that's going to be a shitty account. That's just pictures of your dog, like a picture of your dog sitting on the couch, a picture of your dog looking up at you waiting for a treat or something. But if your dog's got personality, if your dog's funny, if your dog's doing funny things like chasing a squirrel and running into a fence, or if your dog's doing something really cute, like there's this video I've seen of a dog in a baby's room, and the baby wakes up crying, and the baby's got his arms up on the crib, and the dog stretches and hops up on top of the crib and just licks the baby's face, and the baby stops crying, goes back to sleep. Like if your dog can do that, and you can consistently push out that kind of top tier content, I think it's okay. But if it's literally just like, you're embarrassed to be sharing so many pictures of your dog on your main account and you need to create a secondary one, absolutely not. JD, what do you think?
I'm against them in general, except there is one exception, and I believe it's Sam Carsley had an account dedicated to his cat, and it was Everybody Hates Wendy. And it was just
Wendy,
I hate Wendy, and it was about how much he hated his cat. Now that has morphed into basically his personal account, and since he's had kids, but it's still called I Hate Wendy, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Go throw him a follow. He did hate this cat, and the cat did die. The cat died.
Okay, so that's
why
what happened.
It's
that's
a transition. Yeah, rest in peace. Josiah, he left the door open, and that cat got right out of there, to somewhere he was appreciated, or she was appreciated.
My mom had a cat as a kid. I hated the fuck out of that cat. Cat ended up getting hit by a car. Feel bad for it, but I got to watch it breathe its last breath. It used to torment me and scratch the shit out of me.
Wow.
And it was a rewarding feeling. We just looked eye to eye, and it was like, yes, for all the years of fucking torment you caused me. Didn't tell her that, though. She was obviously shaken by
Devastated.
it, but can say it now.
Okay, that's right. All right, final one here. George A asks, bringing a phone or AirPods into a sauna/steam room. Is this good? Josiah, I imagine you've been in a couple of saunas and steam rooms, having been an athlete, UCLA. I'm sure they got a nice locker room there for you. Is this something you would ever do?
This is something I'm guilty of. It's funny. Whenever I go out to Atlanta and do work with TNT, I deliberately, they try to put me at the nicer hotel. I'm like, no, put me at the cheaper one because it has a much better gym and sauna and steam room, like that Lowe's right there in Midtown. I don't know if you guys have ever stayed there.
Oh, yeah. We stayed there when we first moved to Atlanta.
Phenomenal gym, phenomenal.
Yeah, it is great.
So when I'm checking Twitter, but the thing is, if you bring your phone into the steam or sauna, it'll overheat. So I got to bring a towel to put it in. We'll put it in the towel, periodically pull it out just to check, see what's going on. But yeah, I'm guilty of it, so I can't knock it. The worst for me is the guys who will do their whole exercise in there, the sit-ups and push-ups and whatever. They're literally trying to get a whole workout, laying on that nasty surface, whatever it is. And now that I think about it, in that steam room, what the fuck? It's not all steam. It's skin dander and sweat. And what is that air that we're breathing in there? I don't know if I'm going to do it again now.
You just talked yourself out of the steam.
Actually, the guy, George A, that wrote in, a part I didn't include is he's, I forget where he's from, somewhere in Europe, and he moved to America because he married an American girl. And he says that he's been disgusted when he goes to the gym, that he finds that it's a trait that Americans will go into a sauna or a steam room fully clothed, and then he's just breathing the sweat that's coming off their workout shirt. So I don't belong to a gym. I can't say the last sauna I was in was probably with my grandfather in 1994. So I'm not up on the trends. But that does seem pretty gross. JD, what about you? You love a steam.
I do love a steam. I love what is it? What do they call it? A schwitz?
A schwitz.
A schwitz,
yes.
Yeah. I love a steam room. It would never occur to me to take my phone into a sauna or a steam room, partly because of the damage, as you mentioned, Josiah, but mostly because I would be paranoid that people would think I was trying to take pictures of dicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a concern.
It's just I don't want you to think that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
It would just never occur to me. But you know what? Now that you mention it, to have the ear pods in and listening to a podcast. I mean, somebody might be listening to this podcast right now in a steam room or a sauna. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
I would stay in there a lot longer. That's for sure.
Taking pictures of dicks while they're doing it.
And I think we can all agree. Do not go into a sauna and take pictures of people's dicks.
No.
Unless you ask first.
Yeah.
Unless you ask.
If you ask,
Consent.
and they're like, yeah, no worries, go ahead, get it. That's fine. That's one thing.
Let me just get a quick selfie of your dick. That's something you could say in a sauna. Because it's a place for male bonding, all right? They're usually gender segregated.
That's right.
And, don't bring your phone in there. just chat. Learn. Just learn of something new. All right, Josiah, we only have one thing left to do, and that's subjective trivia. Subjective trivia is just like regular trivia, except only I know the answer. So, Josiah, before I ask this question, do you ever do karaoke?
Very rarely. I'm not blessed with the gift of singing.
Okay. Have you ever been to one of those karaoke places where it's private rooms?
Yeah.
So I recently went to a Christmas party that was at a karaoke place. Shout out to my friend Daniel for organizing that. And as I was leaving, I saw a sign up front. And this is what the sign said. It is a list of infractions of things you may do in a karaoke room and how much you're going to be fined for doing them. So it says smoking, $100 fine. Vomiting, $100 fine. On the same line, it says urine or graffiti, $200. And then the last line says intercourse or drug usage is $300. So what I need you to do, Josiah, is I need you to forget about the dollar amount. Just re-rank these from what you think is bad to the very worst. So, I mean, if you think this is correct, I'm just going to tell you right now the answer. You're trying to get your answer to match mine. I have my answer written on this card here. Go ahead.
Bad to the very worst. I'm going to go ahead and say bad. Ooh, okay. I want to say vomit for me is probably the worst. Like, intercourse doesn't really hurt anybody. Drug usage is kind of to each their own kind of thing. Depends on what drug it is. I mean, if they're shooting up or doing whatever, obviously, no. If they're, they're going skiing or doing whatever, hey, more power to you. Just keep it discreet. Don't let me see it. So bad to worst, I will go. The worst I will go is vomit. Underneath that, intercourse. I'm going to go from the super worst to bad. Intercourse. Excuse me. Sorry. Vomit. Intercourse, just because nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Drug usage. Or no.
Yeah.
No, fuck. Vomit, urine, vomit.
I love how many times you keep having to say, okay, vomit, intercourse. No. Vomit, intercourse, urine. No. Okay, sorry. Go
vomit, urine, because nobody likes piss anywhere. Who wants to clean up pee? Vomit, urine. I'm going to go smoking, drug usage, then graffiti. Graffiti to me is like, well, it just depends if you're spray painting, but if it's like removable paint that I use with my kids, that's fine. Like, you made a piece of art, but it's easy to wipe down.
Yeah, if you're bringing your sidewalk chalk to the karaoke room, that's totally cool.
Not a big deal.
So if I understand you correctly, the way you gave me the list, you're saying graffiti is the least bad and vomit is the worst.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have the same answer. So
vomit is the least bad to you?
The least bad, because you're a bar, you should be expecting that people are going to vomit. I'm sort of looking at it from the perspective of the person that made this list and being like, hey, these are the things we get super pissed about. So, yeah, I think vomit is, like, common, because you're going to be getting drunk.
Would you rather clean vomit or piss?
Vomit.
Yeah.
I think piss is easier to clean. Vomit is chunky as shit and acidic. Like, piss.
Yeah, it's just easier to sweep up.
It's liquid. Just put the towel on it. Vomit, there's chunks. You got to put the towel. You can't use that towel again. Well, you can't use it for piss either, but
piss is going to soak into the carpet or the couch before you can even get to it.
Fair.
Now you got piss couch.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I had smoking, because, like, what's the maximum amount of smoking you're going to be able to do in a karaoke room before someone smells it and comes and busts you? You're going to have, like, one cheeky cig, and that's not a big deal. That smell will dissipate. You turn on the fan, you open the door, that's fine. You don't need to be charging so much for smoking. Then I put intercourse and drugs because, I don't know. I mean, should doing a bump cost you $300 extra? That seems excessive. And I think the worst to me is urine and graffiti, because graffiti could actually be hard to get out. That could actually cost you money to come in and repaint or something like that. And urine, you're just going to have to throw out whatever was urinated on. But different strokes for different folks. JD, did you have a strong opinion on this one?
Not super strong, although the worst infraction for me would be smoking, because one cheeky cig can destroy the upholstery of whatever's in there.
You delicate flower. Let me smoke my American spirit in peace while I'm, I don't know, singing Don't Look Back in Anger or something.
Oh, don't even. Now you're just making me angry now.
Before we go, Josiah, do you have a go-to karaoke song when you're forced to get up on the mic?
I do enjoy Don't Look Back in Anger, but probably Wonderwall, I think, to really get the crowd buzzing. And then, some from like the 70s, 80s, just to really turn it up. But not a big karaoke guy, I'm not going to lie.
Not a big karaoke guy, and not a big vomit guy. These are the things we've learned about you.
Vomit is worse than pee to me. Vomit is acidic. It's nasty smelling. And I have kids, so it's just like they'll hurl everywhere, and it's like that scent. And also, you see somebody peeing, that doesn't make you want to throw up. You see somebody throw up, that makes you want to throw up. You see somebody pee, oh, shit, I got to pee too, but I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Interesting.
Yeah, we don't have merch for this show yet, Josiah, but maybe our first shirt will be puke over piss. That could be... And guess what? You're going to get a free one, and I'm going to wash it for you, so you don't even have to think about it, okay?
Pre-shrunk. I love it.
It's going to be pre-shrunk. All right, guys, if you have topics, tweet them to me at StartersMad or email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on YouTube. Josiah, where can people find you, and is there any projects you want the people to know about?
At this point in life, I don't want people to find me, so I just appreciate you guys having me on. Like, the people that find me now fucking hate me. They're so mean. So, like, pretty much everybody who's found me already knows. But, yeah, King Josiah 54 on Twitter, Instagram. Like you mentioned, you know, if you want to hear all the stuff I'm working on, go back to that lovely intro at the top of the show. And just appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right. Well, you know where people can find you, Josiah? In the steam room with your iPhone.
N95 right. Mask on now.
And an N95 mask on. For everyone, thanks for listening. I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you next week.